civil threat emergency for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Fort Worth Police Department. Residents at the City of Dallas needs to lock their doors now. Approximately at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, many entities was last seen roaming around killing everyone in its path. These entities are possibly from interminable rooms. We don't know how these creatures possibly clipped into our reality, but it's possible that they are hostile. The following entities are A100. A100 functions like most runners, beginning at the lobby and charging toward the most recent room. However, what makes it stand out from previous entities is that, instead of despawning, or simply rebounding when it hits a closed door, it will drastically lessen the intensity of its screen shake as soon as it gets to the center of the room. At the same time, it will then check all lockers' fridges in the room, starting from the locker closest to the bottom left corner and moving clockwise, backtracking into another room or hiding under a table or a functional blue locker should keep a player safe from the entity. Opening the door to and going to the next room can also work, although only do this as soon as you hear the spawn cue, as any later and it may not work at all. After checking all gray lockers' fridges, it will move back to the center for about half a second, changing the screen shake intensity back to normal. A100 will then move back to the lobby, in which it despawns. A100's old mechanic was to rebound 3-5 times before despawning, similar to other entities. Stay tuned for further updates on these dangerous situations.
Do not disregard this message as it may be critical to your health and safety. A100 was already bad enough. Now A183, known as the Bit Crusher, has been reported attacking people as well. A183, also nicknamed as the Bit Crusher, 1 is the 8th entity encountered in interminable rooms. It emits a wavy, whirring, and glitching ambient noise and is notably one of the fastest entities in the game. With a maximum speed that surpasses all other entities at its maximum speed. A183 is the fastest entity in the game, with an initial speed of 25.9 rooms per second. It can become enraged and exceed its starting speed, surpassing the maximum speed of any other entity in the game except for A404, Angered State, Trollface, G-Glitch, and U400. A183 behaves similarly to A332's behavior as it progresses in a straight line, starting at room A000, also known as room 0, remaining idle for 2 seconds before proceeding through the rooms. Upon hitting the latest door, A183 will rebound, typically rebounding 2 to 6 times. On its last rebound, it despawns once it hits the lobby door. What sets A183 apart from its previous iteration is its enraged mechanic. If the player remains outside of their hiding spot while A183 is about to reach the latest room, the entity will briefly stop and emit an extremely loud, metallic scream in rage. After remaining stationary for 3 seconds, A183 will rush through the rooms at an extremely fast pace, exceeding the speed of any other entity in the game. Its speed quickly accelerates to 24.9 to 25.9 rooms per second, gradually returning to normal. After exactly 20 seconds, A183 rebounds the entire map between 2 and 6 times. After that, it moves approximately 15,000 units away from the map before returning to the map area and repeating the rebounds process. This entire cycle is repeated 2 to 3 times, so it is best to remain hidden until you are certain that it gone, as there is no obvious auditory cue for the departure of A183. It is recommended that the player remains in the current concealment location until they can confirm that the entity has gone, which will be indicated by the absence of any sound or the presence of the entity. This strategy may, however, require a significant amount of time to complete. Shelters are not safe at the time because it's proven that these entities can break through shelters. Stay tuned for further updates on this developing situation.
Texas is no longer safe. Repeating, Texas is no longer safe. Many entities from interminable rooms have been spotted. The first one is A258. A258 was the 11th entity players will encounter in interminable rooms, being the second harmless and the second stationary entity. A258 will only spawn if the most recent door is opened, generating a new room. If it does, it will hint its arrival via sudden orange lighting and the creation on many visible, black sound waves that fade into orange in the center of the room, mimicking the appearance of a portal. After 3 or so seconds have passed, A258 will suddenly appear where the portal was, immediately creating a loud, broken buzzing/crackling noise infinitely overlapping a beeping noise, not A350. During this time, players can barely, if at all, hear the sounds of incoming lethal entities, which is the entity's intention. It cannot circulate, nor kill the player. A258 despawns after 14 to 20 seconds. Once it disappears, it will create a sound from blowing a horn followed by steel clinking. Appearance A258 is an elongated cyclops that has a peach-colored eye, fading into white near the center. Hints of grayish-blue can be found near its pupil, which is shaped like an irregular star. In-game, its color gets changed into an orange color because of its orange glow, resembling sharp teeth. Its mouth is similar to one of the faces of A60 and or A246, being a black mouth with bloody, pearly white teeth inside. The two parts are separate images, as in-game, the mouth shakes violently while the eye spins in quick succession. Also in-game, it emits an orange glow, like that of A183's. It occasionally blasts out semi-opaque white sound waves when present. Second is A60. A60, also nicknamed as the Multi-Monster 1, or alternatively, the Multi-Monster 2, is the third Section A entity players will encounter, and is the first entity from the original rooms, the second being A200, which served as the inspiration for interminable rooms. The entity is a runner-type entity similar to its predecessor, A35, and moves quicker in terms of speed. When spawning, a slight static noise can be heard signifying its presence, albeit it is quite difficult to hear from afar, and will proceed to emit a low, droning static for its ambience. Similarly to its predecessors, A60 will spawn within the lobby and will immediately begin traversing the rooms at a decently quick pace, and continue to do so until it has reached the last generated room at the time of its activity. Upon reaching the latest room, it will not despawn immediately, instead it will idle at the center of the room or wherever it is positioned after bouncing off the door due to its high speed, sometimes for roughly 4 to 6 seconds before despawning. For further information, A60 is different than its original room's counterpart in the sense that the latter accumulates a greater movement speed the further the player traverses into the rooms, while the former maintains a constant speed. It will also remain idle in the room it is currently in if all players are hiding, while A60 will continue moving forward regardless. If all players are hiding, A60 can be considered the most iconic entity of any room's fan games, considering it makes numerous appearances in other games and is commonly associated with rooms. It often serves as the inspiration for many entities in those games. Appearance: A60 appears identical to how it does in the original rooms, appearing as 6 various horrific red faces that overlay and switch each second. It emits a bright red glow and causes a heavy screen shake to any players within its presence. A60's first face is a menacing smiling face facing toward the right, that seems to have raw, yellowish teeth and glowing red sinister eyes. It's also a bit squished. Its origin comes from a character called the Guy from the American heavy metal band Disturbed. Its second face is the most popular A60 face. It is again a smiling face, however this time it leans toward the left. It also has blood around it, with its mouth being separated and its teeth gray, the eyes looking are unaligned simple black circles, oval once compressed, with bloody run-off in a straight line downward. The image is compressed in-game, but once it's shown in its jump scare, it reverts to its original size. The entity's third face is that of SCP-087-B. It has a bloody smile, with white dots for eyes. It is also the root image for A246, A278 including its variants, and U5. A60's fourth face is a very gory face. Its mouth is a deep cut or wound PNG, and its eyes are gory skin folds. The image used in-game is a recreation of the original, since it was removed, though the current one was removed as well. Its fifth face is an insane, white toothy grin, with an unhinged expression. This is a popular origin face, being that of A15, X15, A300, A120, its variants, U10 and E22. It originates from a Blockland mod called Renderman. Finally, A66th or last face is a red spiral/swirl, with two drooping eyes, and an open mouth with three top teeth. The rest of the mouth is not visible due to the rest of its spiral appearing to turn over it. It is identical to Gigas from the Nintendo game Earthbound, as it was taken directly from Earthbound. Third one is A120. A120 is the fifth entity that players will encounter in-game. It is one of few entities to be entirely updated, having a unique mechanic in its newest iteration. A120, at a certain distance, makes no more than loud, static-like sound effects. Once within close proximity, an electric amp sound edited to sound like distorted Morse code plays, indicating A120's rapid approach. A120, like the various runners, will appear at door 0, beginning its quick journey toward the latest opened room, killing any players who aren't hiding. Once having reached its termination point, A120 will remain stationary either in the middle of the room or at the door for a few seconds, like to A60, only much briefer in comparison. After those few seconds have passed, A120 will rebound, repeating this entire process several times. It is roughly estimated to rebound around 1 to 5 times. A120's more distinctive trait is its ability to summon minions, also called M120, which spawn during the entity's stationary phase. These minions will aimlessly wander around the room they have spawned in, similar to Noah, albeit much slower. The minions, while not directly hostile, can fire off homing projectiles at players who aren't hiding. During the April Fool's 2023 event, A120 would spawn way more M120 minions than it did before the update, causing immense lag, similar to A278. This has since been removed, and A120 now spawns a normal amount of minions. M120 main article, M120 is A120's minion that has a 50% chance of spawning whenever A120 is in its stationary phase. When it does spawn, it wanders around in a similar manner to Noah, making a Morse code-like noise, being the same audio as A120's close-by sound. Occasionally, it will shoot yellow fire orbs that lock onto and damage any player not hiding. After 15 or so seconds have passed, M120 will despawn, noted by the 16-bit sound of a video game character being damaged. M120 minions often spawn in groups of 1 or 2. To differentiate it from A120, M120 eludes a much brighter yellow glow and has 2 eyes. The face is also very distorted, often having facial features constantly squished. The older iteration of A120 functioned much like other various runner-type entities, beginning at the end of the map, that being the lobby, and traversing a linear path to the latest unopened room, killing any players not hiding. Each time A120 reached the most recent door, it would pause for several seconds in a similar manner to A60, only much more prolonged, before rebounding, traveling 30 or so rooms back. A120 would then return again, with the entity this time remaining idle for a shorter amount of time. After rebounding again and traversing the 30 rooms, A120 would do a final rebound, skipping its pause entirely, before despawning at room A000. The trait of waiting in the current rooms is now somewhat carried over to A120's newer version, however, it is no longer as distinctive. Despite its unique behavior, A120 was quite trivial to deal with in nature, due to the fact that it could be evaded much like the other runner-type entities in-game, and as such, remained quite unremarkable, henceforth the probable reason for its previous removal and update. Final one is Noah. Noah is an entirely unique entity, only having a minimum room to spawn in, which is not guaranteed, and being named a proper noun instead of after the room he spawns in like most entities. Noah will first appear as a white orb, releasing some red fog, and will then turn into a red face, similar to A60. He will then wander around the room randomly, occasionally going back to some rooms and going forward if the door to the next room is open. During his activated state, Noah will be able to damage any players who are hiding within his invisible radius at about 15 HP per tick. This can make Noah dangerous when paired with entities that the player needs to hide from in order to survive. Noah, when paired with another entity, will attempt to either get out of the way or use its deactivated state. This is not guaranteed to happen, and Noah may unfortunately stay near hiding spots, killing players who are hiding. It's best that you evacuate all of Texas immediately. Best if you refuge to the following states: Alaska, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio, Iowa, South Carolina, Mississippi, and Nevada. Stay tuned for further updates on this dangerous situation. Evacuation termination for all of Texas. Don't by any circumstance of an evacuating. It's proven that these entities were able to kill people that are evacuating. And also they were seen tarnishing cars as well. And shelter and place immediately. Demon threat alert by Oklahoma City Police. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Oklahoma Police Department. All resident at Oklahoma City shall lock their doors immediately. Stop what you're doing, lock all the doors. This message will repeat. Lock all the doors, 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 lock all the doors. Entities from interminable rooms have been summoned. You can search these up at www.entitycontrol.gov. We found the suspect on who is responsible for these summonings, and that is SYLAS.EXE. SYLAS.EXE is a 12-year-old demonic boy, who has a blue sweater, black jacket, brown hair, and dark black eyes with red and bleeding eyes. His powers are currently hijacking radio stations, having superhuman strength, summoning entities from interminable rooms, teleport to any location, which includes houses, cities, shelters, and pretty much anywhere. Finally, to top it all off, he has razor-sharp teeth, razor-sharp claws and X-eyed pupils. This being is known to be extremely dangerous to any organic matter on Earth. The mayor of Oklahoma City has placed Oklahoma into a statewide lockdown and martial law. Those who will be arrested or terminated on sight. Stay tuned for further updates on this dangerous situation.
Welcome to Emergency News Radio. Today there is breaking news around the Oklahoma City area. There's a demonic boy named SYLAS.EXE, and he has basically one of the most powerful if not dangerous being on Earth. So his abilities are, oh no, there are sirens and another emergency alert. We're going to put the broadcast on standby mode for this.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Oklahoma City Police Department and the United States Geological Survey. The demonic boy, also known as SYLAS.EXE, has generated a volcanic eruption in the Oklahoma volcano, also known as Capulin Volcano. Capulin Volcano is an extinct cinder cone volcano in the Oklahoma's Capulin Volcano National Monument, GOV, which is located in the northeast corner of New Mexico. The volcano erupted about 60,000 years ago and is now extinct. The volcano is 8,182 feet, 2,494 meters, above sea level, and has an irregular crater rim that's about a mile in circumference and 400 feet deep. The crater rim trail leads to the highest elevation at the monument, where you can see Black Mesa, the highest point in Oklahoma, at 4,973 feet above sea level. The northern part of the Raton-Clayton volcanic field. The volcano is also the easternmost young volcanic field in North America. It's similar in size and morphology to Paricutin volcano in Mexico, which erupted in 1943. Black Mesa is a remnant of the lava flow from Capulin volcano. It's known for being a favorite hideout for Wild West outlaws in the 1800s. Its extremely dark skies being located in one of the most sparsely populated areas of the United States. Black Mesa has a rich history, including the Wild West and wildlife. The mesa is home to golden eagles, pinyon jays, red-tailed hawks, and mule deer. Black Mesa has been protected in several ways, including Black Mesa State Park, created in 1959. This 549-acre park includes cabins, a campground, a picnic area, and Lake Carl Geol. Residents in Oklahoma City shall shelter place. If you see this creature, call 911 or call this number for entity control. 790-457-2301. Stay tuned for further updates on this dangerous situation.
immediate evacuation for the city of Oklahoma, also known as Oklahoma City. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey, the Oklahoma City Police Department, Oklahoma City Emergency Management. The United States GS has detected seismic volcanic activity under the Capulin volcano. The other emergency alert explained it, and we will explain it again. Capulin volcano is a cinder cone volcano in northeastern New Mexico that erupted around 60,000 years ago and is now extinct. The volcano is 1,200 to 1,400 feet tall, with a crater that is 415 feet deep and 1,450 feet in diameter. It is formed by cinders, cooling cinders that fell down around 60,000 years ago. Lava flows. 4 lava flows that form the volcano cinder cone, a nearly perfectly shaped cinder cone that rises more than 1,000 feet above the surrounding landscape. The volcano is home to mule deer, wild turkey, and black bears. You can hike the nature, bokeh, and lava flow trails near the base of the volcano. The trails are open from sunrise to sunset, except for the night sky viewing area, which is open throughout the night. Vehicle access to the Volcano Road and the Visitor Center have separate hours. Grab all your supplies, which includes water, clothing, medical supplies, first aid kit, a flashlight, or a hand crank radio that will last you duration of the emergency, and also food. Stay tuned for further updates on this developing situation.